Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A phenomenon that follows and is caused by some previous phenomenon. The magnetic effect was greater when the rod was lengthwise. Of a law, having legal validity. The law is still in effect. Produce. The central meaning or theme of a speech or literary work. An outward appearance. She retained that bold effect in her reproductions of the original painting. Act so as to bring into existence. Effect a change. An impression, especially one that is artificial or contrived. He just did it for effect. A symptom caused by an illness or a drug. The effects of sleep loss. A phenomenon that follows and is caused by some previous phenomenon. His decision had depressing consequences for business. Having important effects or influence. Decisions of great consequence are made by the president himself. The outcome of an event especially is relative to an individual. A phenomenon that follows and is caused by some previous phenomenon. He acted very wise after the event. A special set of circumstances. In that event, the first possibility is excluded. A phenomenon located at a single point in spacetime, the fundamental observational entity in relativity theory. Something that happens at a given place and time. A phenomenon that follows and is caused by some previous phenomenon. The income or profit arising from such transactions as the sale of land or other property. Circulate or distribute or equip with. Issue a new uniform to the children. Come out of. Water issued from the hole in the wall. The act of issuing printed materials. One of a series published periodically. She found an old issue of the magazine in her dentist's waiting room. An opening that permits escape or release. The canyon had only one issue. The becoming visible. Prepare an issue for public distribution or sale. Supplies, as food or clothing or ammunition, issued by the government. The immediate descendants of a person. He died without issue. The act of providing an item for general use or for official purposes, usually in quantity. A new issue of stamps. Make out an issue. Some situation or event that is thought about. An important question that is in dispute and must be settled. The issue could be settled by requiring public education for everyone. Bring out an official document, such as a warrant. A phenomenon that follows and is caused by some previous phenomenon. Something that results. A phenomenon that follows and is caused by some previous phenomenon. Produce as a result or residue. Issue or terminate, in a specified way, state, etc., end. Result in tragedy. A statement that solves a problem or explains how to solve the problem. He computed the result to 4 decimal places. The semantic role of the noun phrase whose referent exists only by virtue of the activity denoted by the verb in the clause. Something that results. He listened for the results on the radio. Come about or follow as a consequence. Nothing will result from this meeting. A phenomenon that follows and is caused by some previous phenomenon. Of a law, having legal validity. Group of people willing to obey orders. A public force is necessary to give security to the rights of citizens. Physical energy or intensity. He hit with all the force he could muster. A put-out of a base runner who is required to run. The put-out is accomplished by holding the ball while touching the base to which the runner must advance before the runner reaches that base. The shortstop got the runner at second on a force. To cause to do through pressure or necessity, by physical, moral or intellectual means. She forced him to take a job in the city. Force into or from an action or state, either physically or metaphorically. Urge or force, a person, to an action, constrain or motivate. Move with force. Impose urgently, importunately, or inexorably. She forced her diet fads on him. Squeeze like a wedge into a tight space. A unit that is part of some military service. He sent Caesar a force of 6,000 men. One possessing or exercising power or influence or authority. May the force be with you. An act of aggression, as one against a person who resists. He may accomplish by craft in the long run what he cannot do by force and violence in the short one. Take by force. A group of people having the power of effective action. He joined forces with a band of adventurers. A powerful effect or influence. The force of his eloquence easily persuaded them. Do forcibly, exert force. Don't force it. Physics, the influence that produces a change in a physical quantity. Force equals mass times acceleration. Produce. Get ready for a particular purpose or event. Set up an experiment. Produce. The scientists set up a shock wave. Arrange the outcome of by means of deceit. Make ready or suitable or equip in advance for a particular purpose or for some use, event, etc. Put into a proper or systematic order. Equip with sails or masts. Take or catch as if in a snare or trap. I was set up. Set up for use. Erect and fasten. Arrange thoughts, ideas, temporal events. Set up one's life. Place. Construct, build, or erect. Create by putting components or members together. They set up a committee. Set up or found. She set up a literacy program. Begin, or enable someone else to begin, a venture by providing the means, logistics, etc. Set up an election. Weight down with a load. The central meaning or theme of a speech or literary work. Weight to be borne or conveyed. An onerous or difficult concern. The burden of responsibility. Impose a task upon, assign a responsibility to. The central idea that is expanded in a document or discourse. Computer science. A tiny ferrite toroid formerly used in a random access memory to store one bit of data, now superseded by semiconductor memories. Each core has 3 wires passing through it, providing the means to select and detect the contents of each bit. A small group of indispensable persons or things. 5 periodicals make up the core of their publishing program. The central meaning or theme of a speech or literary work. The choicest or most essential or most vital part of some idea or experience. An organization founded by James Leonard Farmer in 1942 to work for racial equality. A bar of magnetic material, as soft iron, that passes through a coil and serves to increase the inductance of the coil. A cylindrical sample of soil or rock obtained with a hollow drill. Remove the core or center from. Core an apple. The center of an object. The ball has a titanium core. The central part of the Earth. The chamber of a nuclear reactor containing the fissile material where the reaction takes place. The central meaning or theme of a speech or literary work. The choicest or most essential or most vital part of some idea or experience. A toiletry that emits and diffuses a fragrant odor. Any substance possessing to a high degree the predominant properties of a plant or drug or other natural product from which it is extracted. The central meaning or theme of a speech or literary work. The choicest or most essential or most vital part of some idea or experience. The gist of the prosecutor's argument. A concavity in a surface produced by pressing. He left the impression of his fingers in the soft mud. A symbol that is the result of printing or engraving. An outward appearance. He made a good impression. A clear and telling mental image. The events left a permanent impression in his mind. All the copies of a work printed at one time. A vague idea in which some confidence is placed. His impression of her was favorable. An impressionistic portrayal of a person. He did a funny impression of a politician. Dentistry, an imprint of the teeth and gums in wax or plaster. The dentist took an impression for use in preparing an inlay. The act of pressing one thing on or into the surface of another. He watched the impression of the seal on the hot wax. Any state or process known through the senses rather than by intuition or reasoning. A remarkable development. The quality of being valid and rigorous. The quality of having legal force or effectiveness. The quality of having legal force or effectiveness. Put in order or neaten. Make the bed. Eliminate urine. Have a bowel movement. Institute, enact, or establish. Make laws. Create by artistic means. Make by combining materials and parts. Give certain properties to something. Don't make this into a big deal. Create or design, often in a certain way. Charge with a function. Charge to be. Induce to have sex. Head into a specified direction. Achieve a point or goal. Earn on some commercial or business transaction. Earn as salary or wages. How much do you make a month in your new job? Represent fictitiously, as in a play, or pretend to be or act like. She makes like an actress. Proceed along a path. Make one's way into the forest. The act of mixing cards haphazardly. Reach a goal. Make the first team. Organize or be responsible for. Have, throw, or make a party. Give rise to. Cause to happen or occur, not always intentionally. Make a stir. Make, formulate, or derive in the mind. Make an estimate. Reach a destination, either real or abstract. Engage in. Make love, not war. Cause to do. Cause to act in a specified manner. Prepare for eating by applying heat. Can you make me an omelet? A recognizable kind. What make of car is that? To compose or represent. This makes a fine introduction. Make or cause to be or to become. Make a mess in one's office. Create or manufacture a man-made product. Act in a certain way so as to acquire. Make friends. Add up to. 4 and 4 make 8. Amount to. This salary increase makes no difference to my standard of living. Appear to begin an activity. Assure the success of. A good review by this critic will make your play. Behave in a certain way. Make merry. Be or be capable of being changed or made into. He makes a great host. Be suitable for. Wood makes good furniture. Calculate as being. I make the height about 100 feet. Carry out or commit. Make a mistake. Cause to be enjoyable or pleasurable. Make my day. Change from one form into another. Make water into wine. Compel or make somebody or something to act in a certain way. Heat makes you sweat. Consider as being. Constitute the essence of. Clothes make the man. Develop into. He will make a splendid father. Favor the development of. Practice makes the winner. Form by assembling individuals or constituents. Gather and light the materials for. Make a fire. Make by shaping or bringing together constituents. Make a dress. Perform or carry out. Make a decision. Reach in time. Undergo fabrication or creation. This wool makes into a nice sweater. Doctor's degree in osteopathy. Carry out or perform an action. Carry on or function. We could do with a little more help around here. Be sufficient. Be adequate, either in quality or quantity. Will $100 do? Create or design, often in a certain way. Get something done. An uproarious party. Behave in a certain manner. Show a certain behavior. Conduct or comport oneself. What makes her do this way? Give rise to. Cause to happen or occur, not always intentionally. proceed or get along. How is she doing in her new job? Engage in. Do research. Carry out or practice, as of jobs and professions. Arrange attractively. Spend time in prison or in a labor camp. The syllable naming the first, tonic, note of any major scale and psalmization. Travel or traverse, a distance. This car does 150 miles per hour. Any entity that produces an effect or is responsible for events or results. Give rise to. Cause to happen or occur, not always intentionally. Cause a commotion. A comprehensive term for any proceeding in a court of law whereby an individual seeks a legal remedy. Cause to do. Cause to act in a specified manner. A series of actions advancing a principle or tending toward a particular end. They worked in the cause of world peace. A justification for something existing or happening. He had no cause to complain. Events that provide the generative force that is the origin of something. They are trying to determine the cause of the crash. Rich in significance or implication. A meaning look. The message that is intended or expressed or signified. What is the meaning of this sentence? The idea that is intended. What is the meaning of this proverb? The message that is intended or expressed or signified. The signification of Chinese characters. Having important effects or influence. A meaning that is not expressly stated but can be inferred. Indicate or signify. Commodities, goods or services, bought from a foreign country. The message that is intended or expressed or signified. The import of his announcement was ambiguous. An imported person brought from a foreign country. The lead role was played by an import from Sweden. Bring in from abroad. Transfer, electronic data, into a database or document. A meaning that is not expressly stated but can be inferred. The significance of his remark became clear only later. The message that is intended or expressed or signified. The significance of a red traffic light. The quality of being significant. Do not underestimate the significance of nuclear power. Outward or visible aspect of a person or thing. Pretending that something is the case in order to make a good impression. They try to keep up appearances. Formal attendance, in court or at a hearing, of a party in an action. Outward or visible aspect of a person or thing. A mental representation. I tried to describe his appearance to the police. The act of appearing in public view. The rookie made a brief appearance in the first period. The event of coming into sight. Give an incentive for action. This moved me to sacrifice my career. Be in a state of action. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. The soldiers moved towards the city in an attempt to take it before night fell. The act of changing location from one place to another. The movement of people from the farms to the cities. Cause to move or shift into a new position or place, both in a concrete and in an abstract sense. The director moved more responsibilities onto his new assistant. Perform an action, or work out or perform an action. We must move quickly. The act of changing your residence or place of business. They say that 3 moves equal 1 fire. Have a turn. Make one's move in a game. Have an emotional or cognitive impact upon. Follow a procedure or take a course. A change of position that does not entail a change of location. Movement as a sign of life. Progress by being changed. Propose formally, in a debate or parliamentary meeting. Arouse sympathy or compassion in. Her fate moved us all. Change residence, affiliation, or place of employment. We moved from Idaho to Nebraska. Dispose of by selling. The chairman of the company told the salesman to move the computers. Game. A player's turn to take some action permitted by the rules of the game. Go or proceed from one point to another. The debate moved from family values to the economy. Live one's life in a specified environment. She moves in certain circles only. Move so as to change position, perform a non-translational motion. He moved his hand slightly to the right. The act of deciding to do something. He didn't make a move to help. Pretend to have certain qualities or state of mind. He acted the idiot. Behave unnaturally or affectedly. She's just acting. Something that people do or cause to happen. A legal document codifying the result of deliberations of a committee or society or legislative body. Perform an action, or work out or perform an action. Think before you act. A short performance that is part of a longer program. He did his act 3 times every evening. Perform on a stage or theater. She acts in this play. Have an effect or outcome, often the one desired or expected. How does your idea work in practice? Behave in a certain manner. Show a certain behavior, conduct or comport oneself. You should act like an adult. Play a role or part. She wants to act Lady Macbeth, but she is too young for the role. A manifestation of insincerity. He put on quite an act for her benefit. A subdivision of a play or opera or ballet. Be engaged in an activity, often for no particular purpose other than pleasure. Be suitable for theatrical performance. This scene acts well. Discharge one's duties. She acts as the chair. The general atmosphere of a place or situation and the effect that it has on people. An intuitive understanding of something. He had a great feeling for music. A vague idea in which some confidence is placed. What are your feelings about the crisis? The sensation produced by pressure receptors in the skin. The surface had a greasy feeling. A physical sensation that you experience. He had a queasy feeling. The experiencing of affective and emotional states. She had a feeling of euphoria. A vague idea in which some confidence is placed. An odd or fanciful or capricious idea. The theatrical notion of disguise is associated with disaster in his stories. A general inclusive concept. usually plural, small personal articles or clothing or sewing items. Buttons and needles or notions.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.